Hey guys, so today we're going to be looking at a cube that's similar to one that I did in the past. This is called the Fisher Twist, and I did a video on one recently that was called the Twist Cube, and this one is similar but a little bit different. This one to me is a little more challenging. But it's pretty similar, and it's basically just a 3x3 shape shifter, shape mod. So you can see just by turning a little bit, so these pieces here would be your centers, and then you got your edges would be these double colors, and these big ones up here, these would be your edges, and then these are actually your corners. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then another 4 on the bottom. So a little different. You'll see when I start to mix it up, it gets a little crazy. But just real quick before I scramble it, I'm going to gripe a little bit about this one, and I don't know if it's just mine, but the stickers on this one are really bad about coming off. You can probably even see, I don't know if the camera is going to pick it up, but you can see there's a lot of air bubbles under these, and I have to constantly be sticking them back down. They just really don't want to stick. I've actually had to go in and put some glue under the edges of some of these stickers to keep them from coming off. Again, I don't know if that's just mine, but this is the only cube that I've got that's been really bad about the stickers trying to come off, and it's not like I do anything different with this one. But anyway, so that's just a little gripe I have on this one, but it's pretty cool though. So let me go ahead and I'll mix it up and I'll show you how to solve it. So this is what it looks like when it's scrambled, and again you can kind of see it looks pretty intimidating at first glance just because of all the weird shapes and everything. So it's not that bad though. Just like on the Twist Cube, this one has the same color scheme. This is a Calvin's puzzle, and I think I said in that video, I'll say it again here, I wish that they had done, instead of having the two flat sides be red and orange, I wish they would have made them white and yellow. I don't know why they did the two flat sides red and orange, but they did. So I like to start with the red. Just to me, the red kind of stands out a little bit more, but I'm going to be using the same method as what I would normally use for the 3x3, which in my videos I like to keep it simple. I use a beginner's method. So I'm assuming if you're trying to solve this, you're probably already familiar with the 3x3. If not, I would go ahead and learn the 3x3 first, because this one can be a little challenging. But just like I do there, I'm going to start with a cross. And again, since the flat side's not white, I'm going to start with the red cross. You can start with the orange if you want, whatever. So don't forget that you have your centers. You have two centers that are going to be just regular flat centers. Okay, that's going to be your red and your orange. The other centers are a little curved, but those are the centers. So we got 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now when you're trying to make the red cross, I've already got a couple of them up top already, just coincidentally, but we're going to have to make sure they line up with the proper colors, the proper centers. So this green, I'm going to swing it around so that it lines up with this green, and it just so happens that the shapes are already lined up. Now you've got a 50-50 chance on this cube whether it's going to line up or not. So let me show you one where it doesn't. So I'm going to turn, this one is my mostly yellow. I'm going to turn it down to the bottom and then bring it over to the yellow and then bring it up. Sorry about that, I had a phone call I need to answer. Okay, so getting back to this, you can see that the yellows are not matched up. Okay, so if they're not matched up, no problem, just turn that down, move it to the side, and then just rotate that center. You should just be able to rotate it 90 degrees because, like I said, you got a 50-50 chance whether it's going to line up or not. It doesn't matter if it's like upside down or not, just as long as it's flat there, that's all you're looking for. So I've got two of them. Here's one here with the white. So there's my white center. So what I can do is just rotate that and then rotate that up and then fix my green. But as you probably already saw, the white is not flat. So let's bring it down, move it out of the way, rotate the center, and then bring it back. This puzzle is really loose, so it's hard to, you got to be really careful when you're rotating, or you'll end up moving things you don't want to move. But anyway, so there's the white, and I should have one more. There it is, the blue. So I'm going to have to, I'll just do something like this. I'll put it over here, rotate it up, and then fix that one. So just do a quick glance, make sure all four of those on your cross are flat, and there you go. So now you have the cross complete. Next step is going to be our red corners. Okay, so just like on the 3x3, what I like to do is, let's use this one as an example. So I've got the red and yellow. I'm going to put it underneath where it needs to go, and then I'm going to use this algorithm. And I do realize that there are shortcuts to this, but like I said, I like to gear my videos a little more towards beginners. I try to keep everything as simple as possible, because most of the time somebody really just wants to solve the thing. They really don't want to speed solve. If you want to speed solve, that's a whole different story. Okay, so there it is. Again, if you know the 3x3, you should already know how to do these, so I'm not going to go into great detail here. I'm not going to waste a lot of time with that. Okay, here's my white and red. Let's put it underneath where the white and red should go, which should be right here. And I'm going to do that same algorithm again. And that one went in nicely. Let's see what else we have. Okay, so this green and red is in the right spot. It's just turned wrong. So I'm going to hold it like this and do that same algorithm until it rotates like I want it. And there it is. Okay, so one more. And the blue and red is also in the right spot, but same story. We need to rotate it. So same algorithm. There you go. Okay, so we want to just take a quick look and make sure that we didn't mess up any of our centers. All of these look good. Everything's in the right spot with our first layer. So now we're ready to move on. Next step, we're going to do the middle layer. So for that, as you probably already know, you're going to put that completed layer on the bottom, and we're going to need to do these 4 edge pieces that go in here. Alright, now again, on this puzzle, the edge pieces have 2 colors, so we're going to need to just, what I always do is I start with the ones in the top layer. I've got a couple of them in the top layer, and hopefully when I place those, it'll kick out these 2 that are already in the second layer. So like this one, you might think that it's in the right spot, but be careful, because even though that green matches up, that white does not match up with that yellow, so it's going to have to be kicked out. It actually goes on this side where this one goes. So let's see, I'm going to start with this one. So I'm going to put this to where when I do my algorithm, it's kind of like, excuse me, it's kind of like chopping down a tree. So I'm going to do the left. If I do the left algorithm, it's kind of like you just imagine that just falling down. Okay, so this yellow is going to need to match up with that yellow, and when I do the left algorithm, it's going to just kind of fall right down into that slot where it needs to go. So sometimes people can get confused whether, well, do I put it here and do the right algorithm? Well, no, because that's going to put it backwards. So that yellow and that blue, they don't match up. So just make sure your colors are matched up on this one. It's just an easy way to remember it. So I'm going to do the left algorithm and drop it down. And there it goes. So you see that we slotted it in right there. Okay, let's just do this one next. This is going to be another left algorithm. I've got the two blues, the blue matched with blue, and it's going to fall right down into that slot where the white needs to go. So let's do the left algorithm again. Takes a little practice to kind of figure out your moves, like your 90-degree turns and all, and don't get frustrated. It's going to take a little practice. At first you're going to be locking it up and trying to move it, and you're like, why won't it move? But just keep at it. Don't throw it against the wall and break it. You'll get it. All right, so you see that we slotted that one in. So let's look again what we got on the top layer. Well, here's the green and yellow. It's going to be another left algorithm. So I can actually, the two greens line up, I can just slot it in right there. So let's do the left again. Hopefully that last one will be a right, just so you'll have an example of that. But sometimes that happens. Sometimes you just have all lefts or all rights. There it goes. Okay, so the last one, and it's going to be a left again, but don't worry, I'll show you an example when I'm done with this one. So just coincidentally, we got the whites lined up. Green is going to fall in, so we need the left again. So let's do that. There we go. So you see we got the first two layers are all done. Top layer still messed up, but we'll get that in a minute. So let me just show you next an example of the right algorithm, just so you got it. All right, here we go. So you see we got our blues lined up, but we got yellow, which needs to go here. Okay, so right. We need to do the right algorithm. So here we go. And there it went. So now you got an example of both. I do prefer the left algorithm, I don't know, my hands like the left algorithm better, but sometimes you need the right. So now let's move on to the last layer. Okay, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about how to make the cross here. You know that you've got 4 different options that you would see. You might see the only whatever color you have, in this case it's orange, the only orange that you'll see as far as the cross. Forget about the corners. Okay, I'm not talking about the corners, I'm only talking about the cross. So the only orange you might see is the one in the center, or you might see a horizontal line, which is what I have. Again, forget about the corners. People want to send me stuff all the time about that. Forget about the corners. You have the line, you have the single dot, or you'll have the L, or some people call it the hook. So you'll have one here, the center, and then one here. Or you might already have the cross. If so, then good. But what I have is the horizontal line. So some people might say, well, what if I have a vertical line? If you have a vertical line, turn it so you have a horizontal line. There you go. Now, this algorithm will work for any one of these situations. It just depends on, well, what you have depends on how many times you have to use it. Okay, so I should only have to use it once with the horizontal line. I want to say if you have the L, you'll have to use it twice. And because I think if you have the L, I'm a little rusty on the rules and everything because I usually use a shortcut, but I think if you have the L, you have to, if you do it once, it'll give you the line. If you do it again, it'll give you the cross. And I think if you have the single dot, you might have to do it 3 times. But anyway, just do it until you get the cross. So here we go. Yeah, so I only had to do it once, so I was right on that. Okay, so again, if you have the L, just hold it like this. Do that same thing and it'll give you the line, and then do it again, it'll give you the cross. Okay, if you have the single dot, it doesn't matter how you hold it, just do it once. It should give you an L. Hold it so the L is like this, do it again, it'll give you the line, do it again, it'll give you the cross. Okay. Again, if you're watching this video, you probably already know that, but I just want to say it anyway. Okay, so we have the cross. All right, next step coming up. Okay, so after you have the cross, the next thing you want to deal with are the edges. And remember, the edges are these ones with the 3 colors on them, because these are your centers, so your edges are above and below those. Of course, you have edges in the middle too, but for the top and bottom layer, they're the 3 colored ones. These are your corners, these smaller ones. So what you want to look for, well, you'll have 3 situations. Number 1, you're not able to turn this to where really any 2 of them are in the right spot. I mean, you can always turn it where 1's in the right spot, but what you're trying to look for is a pair. So I guess I could say really you could boil it down to 2 situations. Either you have 2 that are in the right spot that are next to each other, or you have all. You know, in other words, you can turn it to where all of them are in the right spot. So just turn it until you find 2 of them that match up. In my case, I have this one, the green, white, and orange, and the white, blue, and orange. So these 2 that are next to each other are in the right spot. They're all matched up. So these other 2 need to be switched. So the blue needs to go over there, the yellow needs to go over there. So whichever 2 need to be switched, you want to hold those in the front and the left, and then do this algorithm. And then just take a look, and you should have all 4 now are matched up correctly with their side. All right, so now we're ready for the last step. So we're going to orient the corners, and that should solve the cube. Now here you've got 3 situations. Number 1, you'll have 1 corner that's in the right spot, which is what I have, and the other 3 need to be rotated, or rotated. So that's first. Number 2, you may have none in the right spot. If that's the case, you're going to use the same algorithm. It just doesn't matter how you hold it. Or number 3, they're already all in the right spot. Okay, so there's actually 2 steps to finishing out the corners. First, you got to get them in the right spot. Then we'll orient them so that they're oriented correctly. So what we're trying to do now is get them in their proper place, just in case you're a little fuzzy on that. So we're looking for the one that's in the right spot, which is already here. Okay, so I've got my green. So I'm going to hold it on the front right like I have it, and we're going to do this algorithm. Now what that did was that took the one that was here and put it here, took the one that was here and put it here, took that one and put it here. So just take a look and see if you fixed them, and we did not. They're still in the wrong places. So let's do that algorithm again. Hold it again with the one that's correct right here, and then do it again. There we go. Now are they all in the right spot? Well, yellow with yellow, green with green, blue with blue, white with white. They're all in the right spots. The only thing is they need to be oriented properly. So that's what we'll do next to finish it out. Now when you do this, you want to make sure that the one that you're trying to orient, you're holding it here in the front right. Like I'm going to start with this yellow one. Doesn't matter. You can do any one. Doesn't matter. But we're going to hold it like that. And we're going to do that same algorithm from before. But you're going to make sure that you always do all 4 moves. Even if it fixes it before you do the 4th move, doesn't matter. You have to always do, see when I bring that up, don't forget to do that last move, that last down move. Okay, now I'm not going to rotate the cube. So I started with that blue center facing me. I'm going to keep that blue center facing me. The only thing I'm going to rotate is that top layer. So I'm rotating the next corner into place to be oriented, and I'm going to keep going. Same algorithm. Now don't panic. You're not going to mix up the cube as long as you are following instructions. Don't forget that last down move. You got to do that every time. Rotate the top layer. Notice the blue center is still facing me. Now I'm going to do my 3rd one. Same algorithm. Don't forget that last down move. Blue center is still facing me. Rotate that last one into position and do that same algorithm. And there you go. Got them all fixed up. Now, I realize that I went through some of that kind of fast. Again, this is not meant to be an introduction to Rubik's Cubes. I assume that you already know the 3x3 if you're doing this one, I hope. If you need me to go a lot slower on the different situations or whatever with the 3x3, I've got a video for that. This was just hopefully to give you an idea of how this one is similar to the 3x3 and a little bit different. It's just a little different because it's a shapeshifter, but it's the same algorithms, same situations, everything else is the same. But it's a cool puzzle. I like it. The only thing, like I said, is the stickers are really bad on this one. Don't know. I mean, if anybody else is having that same issue, you know, leave a comment and let me know, because I don't know, maybe I just got a dud or whatever. But I mean, my stickers on this one are just really, all of them are trying to come off, it seems like. But anyway, hope you enjoyed. Hope it helped. Leave me a like or leave me a comment. I'll try to get back with you if you have a question. And thanks for watching. I'll see you next one.